how's it going? It has been a while. Elfie showing up at the show. I'm enjoying this Lipton iced tea. I love this stuff. It is like, it's refreshing. It's got vitamin C and things. It's got I swear it has vitamin C somewhere, but I don't see it on the back. Where does it say it? Where does it say it? Okay, maybe it doesn't have vitamin C. Wait a second. No, give me a second. I'm sorry. This actually matters. Contains 0% juice. Sure. I could have sworn that it had a vitamin, not a significant source of vitamin D. Okay. I'm sorry. Give me a second here. Now I'm trying to figure out if I'm crazy, if I'm confusing different beverages, or if different flavors. It must be a different flavor thing. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry spending the entire video on this, but okay. So I have some of this stuff upstairs, and now I'm wondering if, I mean, technically it's iced tea. It doesn't have to have juice. That's fine, but like, I want to go upstairs. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm not going to do it. I could have sworn that it had a good amount of vitamin C, but now I'm wondering if it's a different bottle. Like maybe different flavors have different amounts and the peach doesn't. Anyways, this is supposed to be just saying I like that, and then I got stuck in there. Hey, how's it going? How are you doing? We got a weekly live, or not so weekly live as it's supposed to be called. I was hoping to do my live. The mic's fine. It's close enough. I was hoping to do a my live roundup yesterday, but long story short, I was in Toronto this past week, or for a day. I drove in and out on Tuesday, and that. It's okay. Everything's fine. My grandfather passed away. It was semi-expected. I went in to go see my mother and just say hi and all that stuff. And like, it's sit shiva. If you're familiar with Jewish customs, I went in to go sit shiva and all that. And it was, well, I didn't sit shiva. I was visiting the people sitting shiva. Anyways, so I drove in and out, and I was going to come back Tuesday night, and I did come back Tuesday night. But what happened is there was bad weather. Like, I don't know who knows about travel or stuff, but like the I-90 can get pretty messed up in the winter. And there was like a big, like on the way in, I debated going back on the way in because there was like an hour of driving where it was so bad that I was like, this is not safe. And then it kind of cleared up and I was like, okay, fine, things are good. I did not stop by Chris George. I debated, I wanted to. I didn't have enough time for it. But anyways, so I got in. Then on the way back, I set out to drive back at like 9 o'clock at night. I was like, I'll get back at 2 in the morning. That's not a big deal. I can do that. That's totally fine. I go to sleep at 2 in the morning anyway. So I started driving and then found out that the I-90 was closed. Not like there was like a little accident or something like that. Like they closed the I-90 till the next day. Not the whole I-90, but it was like, I don't know, a 5-mile stretch of the I-90. Like a big section of the I-90 that you can't just go around easily. Like, there's no side roads. Like my GPS was like, no alternate routes. And I'm like, please, there's always an alternate route. You're just not trying hard enough. So GPS was like, no alternate routes. You can't go. So I just kept driving. I was like, I'll just drive until I can't. So I drove until I couldn't. And they directed me off the highway. And then I was like, okay, well, where's the alternate route? Maps didn't give me one. Like Google Maps did not give me an alternate route. They're like, you can't go. There's no alternate routes. So I downloaded Waze. Waze was useless. I used to like Waze way back in the day. And then I tried Waze, and Waze was like, you can keep going. The highway's not closed. By the way, the reason the highway is closed is there was a 60-car pileup, apparently. And the 60-car pileup happened like 7 hours before I was driving back. But it was bad enough that they closed the highway till the next day. So eventually, I tried ChatGPT. I am a fan of ChatGPT. Yeah, 60-car pileup. Yeah, totally. I'll get to chat in a second properly, and I'm just kind of half paying attention. But yeah, there's a 60-car pileup. You can look up videos or images. It was like multiple semi, 18-wheelers involved. On the way in, by the way, when I was going through that hour-long stretch of not being able to drive well, there were multiple cars on the side of the road. There were no accidents, but there were multiple trucks that, I guess, accidents for them, not accidents involving other cars. Like I passed one full 18-wheeler on the road, and then I passed maybe like 6 or 7. I hate it. What is it with 6? I'm gonna mute that. Let's hang up there. What is it with 6 or 7? That's such a popular number. Anyways, point is that I passed maybe 7 to 8 cars and one 18-wheeler on the side of the road, basically, that had gone into the snow. Not like parked because of bad weather, that had gone off the road. But no accidents. But on the way back, 60-car pileup, so I went the long way. So I went to ChatGPT. This is a fun thing for you to know. Also, I have the tip that I did, and then I have the thing that I'm going to do next time because I've learned more. I went to ChatGPT and had ChatGPT like tell me what I should do, and it directed me like a long way. Basically, like the I-90 goes like this over here, and I had to like the stretch that was closed was like a stretch like this. I had to like drive down into Pennsylvania and then back that way, which took me an extra 2.5 hours. Now, I do think it was the less efficient way of doing it. I say that because towards the end of where I'm coming back to get onto the I-90, I drive onto a side road and I drive right past a bunch of 18-wheelers that are coming by my way that shouldn't be on a side road. And I'm like, oh, these 18-wheelers are on a side road because they also are trying to get back on the I-90. But they probably took a more efficient path. So next time, I'm not going to use ChatGPT. Next time, when I get off a highway because of a bad accident and there's no road to go, I'm going to wait till the 18-wheelers show up and I'm going to follow them. Because they definitely know what's up. They know where to go and what to do because they're not stopping. So that's a tip for next time. Why is this all relevant? First of all, it's been a while. Let's talk. Second of all is because the original game plan was on Wednesday I was going to do my live video of my like, hey, be a part of voting on 2-player games. But I went to sleep at like 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning because I got 2.5 hours later. And I did not wake up early enough to feel down for doing a live video. Because I wanted to do it at 10 a.m. I wanted to do a 10 a.m. live video. And I was like, you know what? That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So I just did other videos on Wednesday instead. And then I decided I'll do a regular live video today because it's been a while. Unless you got my chaos stream that happened a bit ago. And with that, let's go pay attention to chat. And let's take a sip of this non-vitamin C. I want to go upstairs and check. I might go upstairs and check. I just have thought I've been drinking vitamin C this whole time. Nothing. What is interesting, it says not a significant source of multiple things, including vitamin C. But it doesn't say. It says not a significant source of like vitamin D, but it doesn't say not a significant source of vitamin C. So who's to say? I'll go look soon. All right, Altus Gator. Need some advice. I've been considering pre-ordering Vestige. From your perspective, should I buy Vestige or Vindication? I would say Vindication, but that's because I have a lot more time with Vindication. Also, Vestige, one of the things I didn't love about it is it was smaller, which made it cheaper. But they actually made it bigger in the end. Like, the prototype I played was smaller, and they've made it bigger since then. I'll be able to give you a better answer once I properly play them more. But my gut instinct is Vindication. But they're really, really close. I don't think you're going wrong one way or the other. And there are things I like better about Vestige. Been a while for one of these. Hello, everyone. Hello, Clark. How's the sugar content? Sugar content, I mean, this is 5 calories. This is no sugar. Like, it's total sugar is 0 grams. This is 5. I don't do, listen, sometimes a good cookie is a good cookie. I have yet to meet, like, drinks. I guess coffee's different. Coffee's a different conversation. And alcohol's, I'm not a big alcohol drinker, but, like, you can't really get diet alcohol. At least if you can, tell me. Like, I would love to have a 0-calorie wine. That'd be amazing. I like wine. Anyways, when it comes to things like soda or stuff like this, 0 calorie for me is the way to go. Because I'm not wasting my calories and things like that. NCC, do you stop at Chris George? No. Clark, condolences, sorry to be your grandfather. Also, my mom back. I'm sorry, Clark. I'm sorry. That sucks. That's not fun at all. Like that. Yeah, my grandfather, he was 86. He lived a good life. It was, I mean, it's never fun when people pass away, but like it was expected. My grandmother passed away like 7 years ago. That was actually much harder because she spent like 7 years going into decline, like mentally, like dementia wise. So that was very hard to watch because I just slowly lost my grandmother. I didn't really like just have a firm point in time. It was just like, oh, this week you might know how I am, you might not. And then 7 years ago she finally passed away. My grandfather was quicker, but like meaning he didn't have like dementia in the same way. He had like moments, but it's sad, but it's not sad like heartbreaking. It's like he lived a good life. Things come to an end. TikTok video of a kid saying 6'7" in a slightly humorous way. Nothing even special about it. But for some reason it just blew up. No, so NCC, the origin of 6'7" is from a song. It's originally from a song that I can't remember the artist. Like I know the whole origin of it. That's not my question. My question is, for some reason, maybe I just noticed it, but I think 6 or 7 is said so much more often than 7 to 8 or 4 to 5. And maybe that's just a range thing, because if it's less than that, you say a few. So like anywhere from 3 to 5 is a few, and then once you escalate past that, it goes to 6, 7. Like I think, mentally speaking, I think I'm primed to say 6 or 7 when I could have just as easily have said 4 or 5 or 7 or 8. And I think I end up on 6 or 7. And that I don't know why. Hey, I'm super curious if you ever got around to playing Robinson Crusoe. No, I mean, that's not true. I played on TTS one time. That didn't count. It wasn't a good experience of seeing the game properly. It's on my list of things I want to play. What do you think your current thoughts on Endeavor Deep Sea, given the Kickstarter for the expansion just opened late pledges? I love Endeavor Deep Sea. I need to play it more, and I want to try the solo mode. I've been wanting to pull it out for a solo Sunday video, but I haven't done so yet. But I like Endeavor Deep Sea a lot, and Robinson I have no thoughts on, other than the fact that I got a taste of it on TTS, but not like a proper game. Hey, Elfie. Oh, you okay? Elfie. So this is my dying cat. Her name's Elfie. I say that half joking. Elfie almost died. You know, the catch them in chat and then tell you about Elfie dying. It doesn't say not a significant source of arsenic, but we can hope that's still true. Yes. Going to level up a treat for the first time this year. Any tips or advice? So my biggest tip is be willing to like either join random groups or set up a game and just put the flags out. Like I find that when you're trying to go to, especially if you're going by yourself, I don't know if you're going by yourself, but when you do these things by yourself, you can kind of jump into it and just, it works out. Like, you know, find tables to look people. Hey, like, also, if you know a game, that's a great one. I try this at conventions all the time, where I'll go to, like, I don't know, Dice Tower East, and I'll be like, I'll see people at a table reading rules for a game that I know, and I'll be like, hey, I know the game, happy to teach it if you want, and then I'll jump in and teach the game and usually play. Like, usually there's an empty seat there. And I find it's a good way. I just find that if you spend the first day jumping around and finding people to play games with, usually the rest of the retreat, you'll have those relationships and people are more likely to be like, oh, hey, Jack, come on over, like whatever it is. Like, so you kind of want to build those relationships as soon as possible, which will help you for future conventions, for this convention. Of course, if you have people, it's easier. Like if you have a friend you're going with, it is easier because it's like, it's scary being on your own. Setting up a game with your friend and being like, hey, anyone else want to join? Like, that's great because you can still play either way. Doing it by yourself, it's like, hey, anyone else want? I'll just go watch some BoardGameCo videos, I guess. I'll just wait here until someone says yes. So it's a little harder. But if you're willing to jump into it, being rulebooks, do what you need to do. I think it's easy, but it's easy with the caveat you have to be willing to be a little bit more outwardly social, which is not always easy. My mom was 94, no complications, just old age. Yep, it's. I don't know how you're doing with it. I tend to think I'm a somewhat, callous is the wrong term. I don't think I experience emotional range the same way your average person does, I think. I could be wrong. Like, I experience emotions. I experience sadness. I experience grief. I experience happiness. I am human. But I don't have the same level of certain things. So, for example, I'm not nostalgic in a typical sense. I'm very rarely nostalgic. For me, the thing that does it is music. Hearing a song I heard at a certain point in time in a certain place, that will bring back memories. But I'm not generally nostalgic. I'm certainly not sentimental. So I don't like hold on to things that, oh my gosh, it was a school project, or oh my gosh, it was my kid's school projects. No, those things go in the trash. Like, I don't need that stuff. I love my kids. I'm proud of my kids every day, but like that little thing you did with paper mache in 3rd grade is fine. I don't need to look at it. I'll take a photo in case I need to see it. I'm not sentimental, and so I don't have that at all. And I think that I have been impacted by death. And again, impacted is like a hard way to put it. Like, I love my grandfather. He was great. I have fond memories growing up with him. But I don't think he's a major part of my life nowadays, and it was expected. I think I've been most impacted by death when it was unexpected, when it was out of the blue, when people lost their lives. That like I've cried at funerals, absolutely. Again, I'm not like dead inside. I'm just slightly deader inside. But I've always wondered like what will impact me in different ways. Like how, because for me, like I don't know. I wonder about these things. So Clark, I don't know how you're doing. I hope you're find solace in whatever degree of grief you do or don't have. I don't know. For me, I think I've experienced grief more when it's a life that was young and unexpected. I also have not been impacted by someone super close to me. So like, I don't know, if my mother passed away, hopefully not, all that stuff, but like, would it hit me the same way? Would it also be, and again, not today, but like if she was 96, would I be like, oh, she's 96, looks fine? Like, I don't know. I'm a little strange sometimes. Maybe I shouldn't have this conversation about telling you, like, you know, the levels of grief I do or don't have. I don't really know. Anyways, with that said, I'm glad you posted the other persons. I'm glad you posted your Dice Tower support video. Still a bit concerned with the funding trajectory. So am I. It's always hard to see, and many of these things happen towards the end of the campaign, so it is likely to get a boost in the last like few days. I do assume it'll cross the finish line. That said, like last year, I think they did 350. So even crossing the finish line is not like a smashing success. And in general, like I always wonder, like how much of it is game found, how much of it is just the natural state of things. I think crowdfunding campaigns in general from creators have been lower. I know, Lord knows, my Patreon and Ko-Fi and all that stuff have been lower this year than they have in the past. And again, I'm grateful. I have GameFound as a job. That's my main source of paying the bills, basically. So I don't have to worry about that stuff. But like, it's not easy being a content creator. It's definitely not easy. And I hope that they fund. I hope they fund to massive success. But we shall see what happens. Nicholas. While I'm 28, my dad is turning 84. That is a gap. That is a gap, Nicholas. But also, I hope he lives a long, happy life, and so the same with you. Chris, curious if you still have contacts inside CMON. If I did, I'd still be asking for the progress of the outstanding products every month. Chris, the way you keep your contacts at CMON is you don't annoy the heck out of them. Yes, I do have contacts at CMON, but people people sometimes have this expectation of like, oh, you've worked with them, you should like call truth to power. Is that the expression? What is it? Speak truth to power? I don't know. I have contacts at CMON. Now, a lot of the people who worked at CMON who were my contacts now work for Asmodee doing the same thing, but at Asmodee. Asmodee kind of didn't just buy the IPs from CMON, they took up a lot of the people. Like, if you've been watching some of the content, like, you know, those of you who know Tiago from the CMON campaigns, or Isa, like, they're at Asmodee now. And they're doing the same thing, just under a much better funding, hopefully. But I still do have contacts at CMON. They've posted updates. I'm not, my job is not to go after them and be like, give me answers, give me answers, give me answers. Because it wouldn't happen. Now, I've had behind the scenes conversations with my contact here and there where I'm like, well, what do you think? How are things going? And like, I know people who are getting paychecks from them, so like they still have money. They're still operating as a company. What will happen in the future? I don't know. But bugging someone for an update every 3 weeks is not the answers you're looking for. What I can tell you is there are people I know who are getting paychecks from CMON. So that doesn't seem like a company that's like in drastic straits of disappearing. Funding their campaigns or fulfilling their campaigns, that's a different story. So what that progress is going to look like, no idea. They have been putting out updates. They just put out an update recently. The update is not like, oh my gosh, expect your campaign soon. So the update is more like, here's the things we're working on, and like maybe you'll get stuff eventually. But again, people are getting paychecks. They are still selling things. So what happens in the future? No idea. We will see. They are definitely. I do plan on doing a video. Haven't figured out the title yet. I don't know. Maybe the Fall of Giants. I don't know. I plan on doing a video soon about the various companies that have shut down over the years. Whether they shut down 6 years ago, or 2 years ago, or this year, or even just undergoing troubles, like CMON's going to be in the video. But it's basically talking about companies that once upon a time were here, and they're now here. Whether here's underground, or barely scraping by. It is interesting to see the space evolve. Like, CMON is one that I did not think was going to happen to. People have been calling, people have been crying that the sky is falling with CMON for years now. And it's not that they were right, but it only just found out now. Like, they've been calling about it for like 6 years. Like, it's been, I almost said 6, 7, 6 years. And at times when they had massive success and lots of money coming in. But then things slowed down and various campaigns stopped hitting the numbers. And like, these things can collapse pretty quickly. But, yeah. NCC, how do you amuse 2 separate generations? 68 plus or minus 1? True. Easy Board Games. Hello, Alex. Hello. Just wanted to quickly drop by and say hello. Hello, Asaf. Chris, concerning from CMON's latest update, delivering batches. Yeah, basically. Sounds like they might run out of money. They might. No idea. The only thing I can say with certainty is there are people there getting paychecks that if I was worried about running out of money, I would not be giving those people paychecks yet. Like, there's some people you have to keep on. There's some people you can be like, you know what, maybe you don't get a paycheck and we just let you go. There are still people there who are not like the most essential of the most essential for a company that's going bankrupt next month. But I'm not an expert. I also thought it was weird that CMON bought various IPs if they were going to have troubles, and they bought various IPs and still had trouble. So sometimes my hey, this doesn't make sense analytics doesn't always work, because sometimes things just don't make sense, and that is what it is. Nicholas, I finally got my wife to watch your videos with me, only if your cats are in it. She loves them. What kind of cat are they? So first of all, if you haven't yet, my favorite cat video so far is my highest reviewed games, or highest reviewed, my highest reviewed games of 2025. That's the best cat video, because that's 18 minutes of Calcifer just sitting here as I rub his tummy. Oh my gosh, I love that video. I keep showing that to people, and I'm like, oh, my cats are on camera. They're Siberians. They're Siberian cats. There's a few breeds that are very similar. I think the main 3 are going to be Siberians, Ragdolls, and Maine Coons. They're all very similar. They're very large, very long-haired cats, very friendly personalities, like more dog-like cats. I went with Siberians because my son is allergic to cats, and Siberians are hypoallergenic, which does not mean not allergic at all. It just means that they're very much less allergic. So my son will occasionally have flare-ups, but for the most part is pretty fine around them. And we got 3 of them, so yeah, I love them. I'm obsessed with these cats. Like, they definitely work. They have impacted my life for both the better and the worse, but overall the better. Did you notice the CMON pushed out Dead Keep off 2027? Yeah. I want the Dead Keep. But honestly, the main one I want is God of War. As long as I get God of War, I'll be happy. Everything else I want, but everything else is like, you know what, like, I have Marvel Zombies. I don't need Deceased. God of War felt fairly unique to me. And Dead Keep is great, but like again, it kind of does feel Zombicide adjacent. So, God of War is Cthulhu Death May Die adjacent, but different enough and distinct enough that I want it. Great point. After going to the same convention for the last few years, I've got my con buddies that I always navigate to and can easily find a game with. Yes, I have found the first time I went to a convention, I was like, this was fun, but like I wouldn't do this if not for the fact that I'm BoardGameCo and I'm doing this for work and all that. The more I went to conventions, the more I was like, I really like this life. It's very fun. You build up your convention buddies, your convention family, all that. Nicholas, preview page for Zombicide Pirates is up. Yes, it is. Game Found Feast just did their, well, Game Found Feast. Tomorrow I'm actually going to be ranking all the Game Found Feast projects, but the Zombicide Pirates, Zombicide Dead Men Tales. I hate that name, by the way, because it's Dead Men Tell No Tales. And they cut out the Tell No, and they just went Dead Men Tales. Like, that's like so hard for me to say. Every time I say it, I hate the name. Love the art, the feeling, hope the game is good. It's always a question of how Zombicide iterates with each version, and is it good or just another Zombicide? We shall see. Zombicide Pirates still should have been Red Tide. Yes, it could have been Red Tide. I think the potential problem there, and this depends on what their goal is, if they did something like Red Tide, it almost makes it feel like it should be part of the Black Death, the medieval trilogy. Calling it a name like that ties into that, but maybe they specifically don't want to tie into that. Harder to say. Clark, my sister was sad with the loss, but also a sense of relief that she's peaceful with her dad and family now. I get that. I think again, not to, sometimes the things I say on camera, I'm very much a fan of the classic, when people get old, push them onto an ice floe and let them go in peace. Now, not that version of things, not that version. And I'm not a fan of killing anyone against their will, to be clear. But the concept that, like, listen, my father, not my grandfather, my father is currently in a nursing home. He doesn't recognize me 9 times out of 10. And it seems like a very sad life. And I watched my grandmother do that for 7 years. Now, fortunately, I did not watch my grandfather do that. He was not nearly like that. He had some hard moments, hard days, but not to the same extent. But to me, granted, I'm not in that position. So the question you always have is, what's it like to be in that seat? When you don't recognize anyone else, what's going on in your head? But looking at that from the outside looking in, I'm like, that's not a life I want for myself. Like, if I could choose, if I get to a point where I don't know who anyone is around me, I am a fan of, like, you know, signing those papers and, you lived a good life, it's time to move on. But again, I say that with, first of all, some people have religious issues with that. Second of all, some people have moral issues with their other people. And then some people, there's always that unknown of, like, maybe in those moments, you do want to cling on to life. I don't know. Like, I'm someone who's, like, very much, I am someone who personality-wise, like, yes, you cling on to life. You always want to live the best life. But to me, that only applies as long as I'm, like, alive and functioning and able to process things. If I don't know what's going on, if I seem non-lucid, to me that doesn't seem like a life that I would want to hold on to, but it's impossible to know because I'm looking from the outside looking in. So, it's hard. Having family members go into decline is hard. To me, the hardest part has always been watching them in decline, as opposed to the part where they pass on. Like, pain at the end, and none of those things, it doesn't seem fun. It does not seem fun. Not just from not from, like, my standpoint, like, it just doesn't seem like it'd be fun for them. Like, it's rough, man. It's rough. Again, the things I say, like... Hey. They really missed the opportunity to keep with the color thing. Yep, I covered that. Have you read Albert Camus's The Stranger? Nope, never heard of it, but let me know. Reaction to the Oscar nominations this morning. What are the Oscar nominations? I couldn't care less. I don't know any of those stuff. Question, is there any rumors regarding big blockbuster games beyond 2026? So, that's a harder question for me to answer. Because I know a lot of big blockbuster games coming out, including beyond 2026. Like, I know things coming out in 2027, 2028, both because of my relationships with the companies, also because I work for GameFound, I'm CMO of GameFound, and I know a lot of things that are coming up there. There are definitely some big IPs that are coming out in future years. I think 2027 in particular has several that, like, one of the least fun things for me about, like, okay, one of the least fun things for me about seeing behind the curtain is that once upon a time, I was more able to do things like, I wonder what's happening. I wonder what CMON's going to do next. There's a video of me kind of realizing that they're doing Marvel Zombies before anyone else realized. And, like, there were people in the comments being like, no, that's not happening. And then it happened and I was right. And oh my gosh. And, like, it's such a fun, it's fun to kind of be excited about upcoming things and then to guess about upcoming things. And I've lost some of that because a lot of times the things that I'm most excited about that are upcoming aren't public. So, like, there are things, there's IPs, there's a particular game coming out in 2027 that is a video game IP that I really enjoy, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited. I mean, I have no clue if it'll be a good adaptation or not. I don't know that yet, but I'm excited about the prospect. There's a book coming out from a publisher, a book series that I like. I'm not going to be saying yes or no to any guesses, by the way, so you can put your guesses you want. I'm not going to say yes or no. Now that I'm starting the conversation, I can neither confirm nor deny anything. But there's a book series that I really enjoy that a publisher that I like is doing some sort of adaptation of it. Again, no clue if I'll like it, but I'm really excited about that. I can't remember if that's 2026 or 2027. I think it's 2026. But there's a lot of things that are coming out. The question I have is, you said, are there any rumors? So that I have to think about, what do I not know is coming out that I've heard might be, and I don't know if I have anything in that category. I don't know if I have anything in that category of something that might be coming out. I'm sure they exist, but I don't know the might be's. I know some of the will be's. What's your take on painted miniatures versus acrylic standees? I feel like I've seen a shift in recent years. Painted miniatures are the best, but you mean factory pre-painted ones? Is that what you mean? That's different. I still think they're pretty decent, but you really need to throw a wash on them to make them pop. I like miniatures. Painted or unpainted, I like miniatures more than standees, even more than acrylic standees. But I do think acrylic standees are a pretty good compromise as far as giving you a nice, pretty option. Although not all acrylic standees are created equal. Some are better than others, just like miniatures. Clark, my wife can't stand watching you. She says you talk way too fast and repeat yourself a lot. How dare she? I do not repeat myself a lot. I never repeat myself. The amount of times it's just not something I do. I don't repeat myself. It doesn't happen. Like, I've never repeated myself ever. It's not, I just wouldn't repeat myself. Why would I repeat myself? I've been watching you since 2019. Have watched every one of your videos. Clark, that is dedication, and thank you. I do talk way too fast. There's no question about that. I sometimes try slowing down, sometimes not. It's case by case. But that's not a question. That's just a statement of fact. I talk way too fast. I also do repeat myself. I find it's fascinating because there are some people who hate it, and most people seem to not mind it. But there's definitely a degree of repetition. Because I don't do a script and I talk fast, it means that sometimes, almost as a natural adaptation to the conversation that's happening, I can loop myself because I don't have a script. So I'm trying to move the conversation from here to here. I don't have a clear way that I'm doing that. And I'm doing that with no script, no notes, and no editing. And sometimes in order to get from here to like this step over here, as I try to figure out the lane to do it, I end up repeating something I said earlier as I get there. Now, it's not intentional. I don't sit there and go, well, I'm going to say that thing that I said again. It's almost just a flow. Instead of saying or pausing or just having dead air or editing, it's almost like a natural adaptation to have that repetition as I get from point A to point B. But I watch my own videos, and I'm like, I don't really find it to be repetitive. There are things that I will say a second time, but I don't find it to be repetitive personally. But there are enough people who have commented, again, it's not like everyone, but there's enough people who have commented that they find it repetitive that it's clearly a thing that's not wrong. I think it's just a matter of personal preference. ABT, OC, ME, TB, oh, sure, whoa. Please share your opinion on Hexplorer series, Mountains of Godal in particular. Also opinions regarding the Gilded Realms. The Gilded Realms. I think I've played the Gilded Realms, if it's the game that I'm thinking about. I liked it. I didn't love it. I thought it was fine. 3.5 out of 5. Hexplored, I've never played. Always been intrigued by it. Never enough to pull the trigger. That compliment started off real rough. Which compliment? NCC? Oh, Clark's compliment. Clark's compliment was certainly... Listen. There are things that people can say that get to me. That's absolutely true. There are things that people will say that get to me that... I should repeat myself. Wow. See, now I'm going to pay attention to it. There are things that will bother me. And there are things that get through the skin. But in order to be on YouTube, you have to develop a thicker skin. Or any public platform. You have to develop a thicker skin. And I've certainly done so. It's not a impenetrable skin. So there's times where I will... There was something happened this week. Okay, this bugged me. This is so stupid. It's so stupid. But it was bothering me because I was like... Argh! I found this Twitter comment. I was searching for something else, and so I searched my name on Twitter, and I found this Twitter comment from like a year and a half ago, and it was this person being like, oh my gosh, watching BoardGameCo rant about this article, not realizing that satire is like top tier content. And then like 5 people liked it. No comments, no engagement. But I was like, what do you mean? Was there an article that I didn't realize was satire? And so I went back. There was a date on the video. I assumed it was my week in review because that's usually the type of thing I'd be talking about this. So I found the matching week in review. I went into it. It's an article from like I think Hard Times, if I'm not mistaken. And in the video, I'm like, this is a satire site and this is a satire article. And I explain why I'm still complaining about it, even though it's not real. But like, this person, she posted like, I didn't realize it was satire. I'm like, in the video, I said it's satire. Like, what do you mean? I didn't fall for this. Why do you think I fell for this article? There's a reason I ranted about it. Long story short, it's an article about like best board game components to eat. And it was like alternating between like, oh, Ticket to Ride trains and Monopoly pieces and then Wingspan eggs. And I was like, this mismatch of components feels so weird. It's like a mismatch of like mass market and then hobbyist. Like, if it's a hobbyist gamer, why is there so many mass market things like from the Game of Life? And if it's a non-hobbyist gamer, how they get Wingspan and Castle Burgundy and all these other things? I explained clearly in the article why I thought it was funny, but I also said it was a satire article. Anyways, I'm missing the point. The point is, the fact that someone a year and a half ago thought I fell for something when I didn't, and if I did fall for it, hey, I fall for things all the time. If you watch my unboxings, I'm like, oh, how did I put this back? And the people are always like, it's on the other side of the box. I fall for things. But the fact someone thought I fell for something that I didn't, that bothered me so much. And I let it go because what am I going to do? Comment on a Twitter post from a year and a half ago? It's not. Things can get to me. But lots of things don't. Most things don't. Some things do. The problem is it's a numbers game. If you're getting, I don't know, hundreds of comments a day, and let's say every third day, let's say one of every 300 comments gets to you, well, that means every 3 days a comment can get to me. And I don't think it's every 3 days. I think it's probably like once a week maybe. Once a week a comment will get to me. And usually getting to me doesn't mean I spend an hour and a half on it. Usually it means that it's like, oh, that's annoying, and then I move on. But they build up. They build up there. Like, YouTube is something that I love. I enjoy it. But it's certainly true that whatever those comments are, it's usually if I disagree with the person. Like, Clark said, my wife thinks you talk too fast and repeat yourself. I do. Those are reasonable complaints. That doesn't bother me. If someone doesn't like my content from something that's true, that doesn't bother me at all. Versus if you say something that I disagree with, that's usually where it bothers me more. But either way, point is, it was a rough compliment by a standard set of rules, but by my internet skin rules, it was fine. Brian, I watch at 1.25 speed. I watch other content creators at 1.5, so not too fast for me. Yeah, again, every time I even mention that I might slow down, I have tons of people who are like, no, please don't. Like, so, like, there's clearly an audience that wants me to talk the speed that I do, and there's clearly an audience that wants me to slow down. My compromise, I've always said this, repeating myself, I've always said this, my compromise goal is I always try to focus. I don't always succeed. I always try to focus on enunciating as clearly as possible, even as I talk quickly. I don't always succeed at that. The nature of talking fast means that sometimes there is a degree of a mumble or slurring of the words that can occur. I try to minimize that, and then sometimes I try to slow down a little bit, but it's like a little bit. Hexploit's great, close thing I found to D&D in a board game. War Historian, The Stranger speaks to you, discussion of personal emotion. Oh, The Stranger. Let's go find, that's the book. Have you read Alba Camus's The Stranger? Okay, well that intrigues me. That intrigues me. Again, I have said this before. I think I'm like 2% autistic. I don't know. I don't know the range. I'm sure you don't measure things as 2%. There are things that the way I express myself, or even the way I see things sometimes, I think I don't operate on the exact same spectrum as your average human being. But I think no human being is on the exact spectrum. We're all odd in our own typical ways. I just have some things that I view the world as, oh, that's the way something should be. Like, why would that bother you? And sometimes it's like, because I'm a human and it bothers me. I experience human emotion, but with adjustments. Game you wish to get a big box less sided version, aka Castle Burgundy. I will be doing a video on this. I actually have the games picked out. I will be doing, actually it's not true, I have like 13 games picked out and I need to limit down to 10. But I plan on doing a video on top 10 games I want to see get the deluxification treatment. Some of them I have found out already are, which I did not know about when I put this list. Well, that's not true. When I had the idea to put this together, either way, I'm still doing the same games, but some of them are getting it. Pascal, if you would design a game, what kind of game would it be? What kind of theme? What kind of mechanism? I have designed multiple games, sort of. I've never taken them to the point that it was more than just writing down the rules, because playtesting games is a lot of work. I'd rather play good games. But I like the creative process. For me, area control is always a genre that I find, like Euro games, designing a full-on Euro, as much as I love a good Euro, doesn't appeal to me. That feels like it's very mathy. Like, you have to math all that stuff out. Not the same appeal, personally. For me, things like a drafting area control game, a worker placement area control game. Area control is usually the genre I find myself dabbling in. Either that or cooperative game, maybe a mini puzzle, like a solo puzzle. There are different things that I've been more intrigued by as I've written out rules for different concepts. But the one thing I've never done, even though some of my favorite games are like a good classic Euro, I've never even considered doing a full-on Euro game. They'd always have to be like Euro adjacent. So like, yes, it has worker placement, but that's because I'm placing down a worker here so that I can get first strike, and then you place your worker there so you can have like 2 troops invading halfway through the battle, and then we have our area control game, which does sound fun to me. Other persons, wink if there's a good Fallout game coming out. I'd love a dungeon crawl and maybe a LCG Arkham Horror style. Again, I can neither confirm or deny. Even like, the problem is, because I started this conversation, I can't even deny things, because if I deny one thing but not the next thing, it means the next thing was real. So I'm going to confirm or deny no rumors in this conversation. Usually my general rule is that I will deny the first thing, and then in advance say, I'm not denying anything else, I'm just not doing it. In this case, I can't do that because I started the IP conversation. I still watch you on 1.5 speed. Talk faster. Sometimes I have done a talk faster segment. It's not always easy, because the tricky part of talking fast is it only works as if you have all the words lined up in your head. As soon as you run out of words, you slow down. So in order to talk faster than I am right now, I have to have the queue of words entering my brain coming in at a faster pace. So I'm able to do so. It's much easier if I'm reading off something. If I'm just reading blah, 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 that's much easier. If I have to think of the words as I go, I'm just operating at my general speed, and my general speed is on pace with how fast the words are entering. Does that make sense? Like, the speed that the words enter your mind is the speed at which I try to get the words out of my mind. Talking faster than that requires more input. Talking slower than that means holding up the cue. When I try to talk slower in a conversation, genuinely what's happening is that I am actively slowing down the words that are entering my mouth, leaving a queue of words that are kind of coming in. This actually has the unintended side effect of almost disrupting my ability to communicate the way that I want to, because I have these words jamming up, falling over each other, and I'm not processing at the same speed. I'm disconnecting my talking speed from my processing speed, and that doesn't work well, generally. Boo. I've heard they're making Lord of the Rings Through the Ages. That's a great callback. Good on you. Justice Fam, do you have your shelf memorized yet? No, absolutely. Well, it depends. Ask me a question about my shelf. Like, ask me, I can't see behind, well, I guess, if I move this. Ask me a question about my shelf, because if I see this over here, it ruins it. Wait, I just ruined this. I can't answer your, this is not going to work. I can't answer your question if I don't see the question. I don't remember exactly. I want to say I had Dragon Eclipse, like, right behind me over here. I have a bunch of Euro games over here. There's like 2 rows of Euro games. Robinson Crusoe somewhere. I don't have the shelves memorized. Not even close. Not the way it used to be. Definitely not. Do you commonly Google yourself? No. Dear Lord, no. I don't think I've ever Googled myself. So Google is not what I do. What I have done is I have gone to Reddit and searched BoardGameCo. I have gone to Twitter or Blue Sky and searched BoardGameCo. And usually, if I am in a healthy state of mind, which is most of the time, but not always, I do so because there's a reason to do so. So something happened and I'm like, oh, either was anyone talking about me, or I know someone's talking about me and someone said to go search. Like, there's usually a prompt or a reason. Sometimes in the past, when I'm in a less healthy state of mind, I've done so just to see. Like, nothing happened, but I'm like, I wonder if anyone's talking about me on Reddit. That's very infrequent. Because, first of all, it's not healthy. Secondly is, sometimes you find things and you go from having a perfectly good day to finding out that 12 people on Reddit don't like you. That's not good for my mental, like, health. That's just, again, I have to shut it out. I have to recognize if you're on the internet, you have enough people are not going to like you. But it's still, I don't like it that 12 people don't like me. I don't like it that any one person doesn't like me, but it will happen. There are people who will not like me. That is, it's okay, but I have a hard time with it being okay. I want everyone to like me. Or at least if you dislike me for reasons that make sense. I hate how fast that guy talks. Great. I'm okay with that. Or I don't watch his content anymore because I can't enjoy the content knowing there's a conflict because of his CMO of GameFound. Great. I can deal with that. It's when you don't like me for a reason that I disagree with that I have so much of a hard time dealing with it. But yeah, so I don't really commonly Google myself. The last time that I went in this, when I was just searching whatever it was, Twitter or Blue Sky for that comment, I wasn't searching for that comment. I was searching because of something else. And again, it was totally fine, but I just found this one random thing. Jason, Nick, enjoying your unboxing of Goom Coven. Curious to be able to table it soon. I would love to, but I have so many things right now. I have so many things. It's so hard. I have games I want to play, games I need to play. I have sponsored content, review copies. I have so many games right now that I don't know what I'm going to do. And again, there's no again. I have so many games. I'd like to know your updated review and if Awakened Realms addressed your concerns with the prototype. So would I. I've seen a lot of positive buzz about it. A lot of people seem to like it, even with complaints. Clark, I just brought my wife because of Nicholas bringing up how he got his wife to watching the channel. That's a fair reason to do so. AB, whatever. What is the oldest board game in your collection that you're refusing to call because it's too much fun? Well, I wouldn't call that refusing to call. I would just say I'm just not calling it. And the answer is Castle of Burgundy and Seven Wonders. Although Castle of Burgundy is significantly higher rated for me, Seven Wonders is a great game that I do occasionally play, but like that's probably being held up a little bit by longevity. But those are from my original purchase of games way back when. There are two, like the first 30 games I got. There are two that are still here: Castle of Burgundy and Seven Wonders. Those are the only two from the first 30 or so. Clark, my wife watches Dance with the Stars and other reality shows that I can't stand and will not watch. We have a mutual understanding. That's fair. That's fair. I loved So You Think You Can Dance way back in the day. I tried doing Dancing with the Stars once, and I just couldn't get into it. I didn't care. But So You Think You Can Dance, I did love. But also, after 4 or 5 seasons... See, I did 4 or 5. Finally. After 4 or 5 seasons, it was the same thing every single time. But I loved it. I loved the first 3 seasons. I'm going to finish this at this point. I need to do lunch after this. Oh my gosh, I'm going to do a hard wrap at 2 o'clock, if not earlier. That's in 14 minutes, because I need to do lunch before a 2:30 call. It's a late lunch for me. Usually I do lunch around 1 to 1:30. NCC. Every game can become a deluxified version with a 3D printer. It's not the same. I like a good 3D printed insert. 3D printed components, I just don't find to the same level of premium as a good component. I like it in theory, but it's not the same. NCC, amen to that. Michael Joyce, even just good inserts. Currently, yes, good inserts. You see, I agree with that. Currently printing a new insert for your Coco in a silky white with gold trim. It looks like gold leaf on pearl, very on theme. I love that. What is your favorite solo game? I guess I'd have to think through it. Depends. Are we doing solo only? Solo only is probably 4 Northwood. Like my favorite game that I've played solo, and this actually, I have to talk to Meg when we're doing our solo games. I also have to figure out the rules for the list. Are the rules solo only games? Solo and cooperative, which is a different feel, or solo from competitive. Like there's a whole, playing Terraforming Mars solo is different than playing Primal solo, is different than playing 4 Northwood solo. So true solo that's intended for one person is probably 4 Northwood, but I'd have to look at my top 100 and confirm if that's true. Especially good inserts. Would you do a top 50 versions of Monopoly rating? No, because I don't have top 50. I have one version of Monopoly that I think is, worth talking about, and that's Monopoly. I don't think that there's any versions of Monopoly that I like. I mean, I don't think Monopoly is great, to be clear, but I just don't have a distinguishing facet between them. Like, if you talk about Risk, I could talk about, 3 versions of Risk that I actually have an opinion on. Monopoly is just Monopoly. Like, any versions or offshoots, I don't know if I've played them. I've played themed versions and offshoots, but not actual gameplay difference. And themed ones, I played Chocolatopoly once upon a time. And Chocolatopoly is just Monopoly with a chocolate theme. It's not better. It's not worse. It's a different theme. So I can't imagine doing that. The thing I am working on, although I don't know when it'll happen, it might happen at the end of the year. I might make it a member exclusive. I don't think... It's always hard figuring out what's a member dedicated video. It's always hard figuring out what makes sense. Because good content I want the world to see. And if it's bad content that's only for members, is that really doing them a service? So I usually save it for life updates, what's going on behind the scenes, things like that. But doing because the video series that people suggested I do, or someone suggested I do, and I thought this was a good idea, is do a top 100 games that I don't own. Which I think is a great idea. There's so many great games that I would talk about that I've moved on from for one reason or another. But there's still great games out there. And so I do want to do a top 100 games that I don't own. And I might make it a yearly thing. I don't know. That we'll find out. Or I might just do it once, or maybe every few years. I don't know. I think that list is less prone to change than my collection list. Because it's counting... Yeah, I think it's less prone to change. But I want to do that. But not top 50 versions of Monopoly. That doesn't sound fun to me at all. There's a bunch of lists that I have coming up. There's I want to do a list of 10 companies, top 10 companies that, or again, maybe it's not top 10, maybe it's just the fall of giants, whatever it is, companies that have fallen or gone under. I want to do a video on companies that have started recently that have been knocking it out of the park. Their first games are incredible, and they've really done a great job building community and engagement. I have a bunch of lists. I need to find my list of lists. I have a list full of lists, but I'm doing top 10 solo games, or some version top 15 solo games with Meg. I think I put together the list for that already. I have to double check. Again, I have to figure out the rules. Is it true solo or just solo friendly? I probably should do top 10 competitive games with best solo modes. That's a very specific list for me because I don't usually dabble. I'm not well qualified. I might do it anyway, but it'll come with the asterisk of I'm not well qualified to talk about that because most competitive games, I don't play the solo modes. But some competitive games, I do. And so those would be the ones on the list. So it's not really top 10. It's the 10 that I've played that I enjoy, I guess. There's always good list ideas out there. I don't think I'll ever run out of lists. I don't think I'll ever run out of things to talk about. There's always things to talk about in the board game space. Sometimes I run out of... Sometimes I feel that I've talked about something, and so then the question is, when is the appropriate time to revisit that conversation? This is a challenge you have as a creator, where if I did a video 2 years ago, if I do the same exact video tomorrow, over half the people that watch it are going to be new people who never saw the old one. But I usually don't do that. What I usually do is I'll do an iteration of that concept. And I'll usually do it not 2 years later, but 3 or 4 years later. So 3 or 4 years later, I'll do a version of a video I did 3 to 4 years ago that has the same general concept, but also has differences to it. Because if I don't revisit ideas, again, even just top 10 solo games, if I don't revisit top 10 solo games, then new people have to find that. And most people aren't. Most people do what shows up in their algorithm. So somebody who wants to know BoardGameCo's top 10 solo games, the vast majority of people watching are not going to search it up. They either watched it when it came out or not. Some people will search it up, or sometimes the algorithm will serve it to them. So you have to revisit content, but ideally you want to do so in a way that doesn't burn out your existing audience from seeing the same things again. Some things like top 10 solo games, naturally those will change. Like every time I've done one, I think I've done it twice so far. This is going to be my 3rd time doing it in 6 years. Something like that, the games naturally change over time. But things like, oh, best ways to sell your game. Like I just filmed, not just filmed, I filmed like a week ago, but I have going up at some point, best 10 ways to like sell your games. I did this because I filmed a video called Top 10 Ways to Get Rid of Games, and it was about how to convince yourself to get rid of games, but a lot of people were like, this is a good video. I thought it was about how to sell your games, and I wanted you to do that. And it's like, I have done that, but you're right, the title was unclear. I'll go ahead and redo that. So I refilmed that video, and I haven't even watched the original to see how much it differentiates, but again, not everyone's going to find old content, so it's a balance. Not specific solo, but like, say, 1 to 4 players. Again, I have to look at my top 10. Primal could well be up there, because my top 10... No, Cthulhu Left May Die. Cthulhu Left May Die. That's my... But no, I wouldn't count that on. I don't like that one solo. Not I don't like it. I'm okay with the solo. Even though it is soloable, I don't play it solo. So what is my number 1 game that I do play solo, but is playable at higher player counts, or playable at any count? It might be Primal. Primal's number 6. What was it? It was Castle Burgundy, which I don't play solo. Cthulhu Left May Die, which I don't play solo. I have played it solo, but I don't. It's not my go-to. Then there was Vindication. Maybe Vindication might have been 3. I can't remember now at this point. Or it was Vindication 4. Whatever it was. Lost News of Arnak was somewhere there. I don't really play it solo. So probably Primal. Primal was 6, I believe, but it might have been 5. So I think I'm missing one of my top games. But probably Primal. Okay. Could you even do a video on games you don't own? It seems like your collection changes daily. Yeah. Because I'd be doing it based on what I don't own at the time that I do that. Absolutely. Also, while my collection changes daily, it is rare that I get things back. So, I do get things back. It's just rare. So, if I did a video of top 100 games that I don't own, they would be games I played, to be clear. Otherwise, what am I ranking at? So, they're games I got rid of. So, that list, in theory, I would add to that list, which is always a possibility. So, like, I might put together the list and then be like, oh, and I just got rid of Primal now, so now that should be I'm not getting rid of Primal. But that could happen. But either way, I could adjust that easily enough. I mean, that's the risk of the top 100. When you put together the top 100, sometimes as you're putting together the list, you're like, I just found something I love, but I already filmed it. Like, what do I do? What do? You just deal with it. Speaking of solo-only games, do you have any interest in recent solo game of the month, Radiance? I remember seeing that. I don't remember much about it, but I remember seeing it. Can you confirm or deny the future release of Monopoly Haven by Isaac Childress? I will deny that one. At least I don't know. Definitely not by Isaac Childress. Maybe by Isaac Childress. Gen Cam plays. Hello. Other persons. Hello, Gen Cam. Other persons. My dream video, Alex, Meg, Tom, Sam, Efka, Elaine, all day TI4. It'll never happen. Yes, that would never happen. That's such a... Which one's Sam? Who's Sam? I know Alex. Hopefully. I know Meg. Hopefully. I definitely know Tom. Hopefully. Oh, Sam Healy. I assume you mean Sam Healy. And then Efka and Elaine. I've never actually met Efka or Elaine. I've emailed Efka before I ever did content creation. I've emailed Efka. But that's, I think, the extent of my interaction with him or her. Well, it was with him, but as a group. Justice Fam. As gorgeous as those shelves are behind you, my goodness, the price tag. About 10 times the price of a Calyx setup. Do you plan on giving us a review or walk-around video of them? Yes to both of those. So the review... Okay, so two things. First of all, they are expensive. There's no question about that. The question is, let's say the house burned down, and I needed to buy new shelves, and they weren't giving me new shelves. Would I buy these again? The answer is no, right now. I think if I had a bit more spare money, I think I would. Like, they're very nice, and I like them a lot, and they feel very premium. And, like, honestly, it's a hard situation. Like, it's really hard, because a Calyx genuinely feels like a step back from these, like a big step back. I have the Calyxes upstairs. I moved them to my game room, because this is, like, the sponsored studio, but I'm not filming in my game room, so I couldn't ask for those there. And, I mean, maybe I could ask them, but I didn't want to ask for them. I mean, I probably wanted to ask for them, but do what's fair. Anyways, my game room is Calyxes. This room is all these shelves, and my game room feels not as cool as it would have been a while ago. So I really like these, but 10 times the price of a Calyx. I don't know if it's exactly 10 times, but it's certainly not cheap. I think my Calyx is probably 10 times, maybe like 8 times. I have to do the math in it, but like I think 8 to 9 times sounds about right. But yeah, they're definitely not cheap, and that's going to be a factor in the review if or when I do it. I assume I will be doing a review. Right now, content-wise, I'm waiting until the table shows up. This by the way, this basically is just a topper on a small table, because I finally moved my game table that was here to the game room in preparation for the all-play table showing up here. So this is like an in-between table. But I hope to do a review. I'm waiting for the table to show up, and then maybe I'll do a review together, maybe separately, and I'll certainly do a tour-ish of it, but like this room has been chaotic because I just finally moved the table out. I need to get things tidied up. And also, a lot of the things that are nice stuff that goes into the shelf, like the various extras, I've installed some of them. Some others I've been holding off because I want to get a sense or a feel of how these things play out before I decide where they go. But yes, a review is almost certainly coming. Thank you for the answers. Absolutely, which is good. Actually wrapping up in a minute because I need to have lunch before a call. Game is always a lot of games on the shelves. How many do you actually play versus just own? So I don't know the shelves in total. What I do know is I was having a conversation with somebody recently, and I went through my top 50 games of all time to see how many of them I had played. Meaning my top 50 of all time as of this year. And if I recall correctly, I think I got to like 44 out of the top 50. So from my favorite 50 games, I had played 44 in the last year. If I went through my games on the shelves right now, if I had to guess, like from these various games, if I had to guess, I'd probably say about 75% of them have been played in the past year. That's a rough guess of all the games behind me. Yeah, looking at them, I'm just looking at on my screen right now. Yeah, almost certainly 75% of these I've played in the past year. But first of all, past year could still be once a year. It's not a ton. And also, that leaves 25% that I haven't. My rule, which I'll probably be doing a video on this as well, my rule in general is that I don't have to have played you to keep you. I have to have wanted to play you and entertained playing you. Like, did I look at these games behind me? Let's pick a game. Deep Rock Galactic. I haven't played Deep Rock. I played the first 2 scenarios of Deep Rock Galactic when I got it. I've been meaning to play it ever since then. There have been multiple times I pulled up the rulebook to refresh myself on it so that I can dive into it. In the past year, there have been multiple times where I was like, maybe I'll do that this weekend. I didn't, but multiple times I was like, I'll do that. So that's an example of what I mean by, like, I wanted to. Versus, can I see anything in the set behind me that I haven't even considered playing? I don't think I can. Now, granted, this is just the view you're seeing. If I expand it outwards, maybe. But from the view you're seeing, I think every single one of these games I have either played or considered playing. And to be clear, to distinguish something like the Zombicides, I don't necessarily I don't necessarily have had to think about playing every version. But like as a concept, I've played Zombicide in the past year multiple times. Yeah, I don't think there's anything here that I haven't, at the very least, thought maybe we'll play this weekend. These are all games that are in the mental cycle, not necessarily the actual cycle, the mental cycle. Did you already do a list of popular games you don't care for? Do you remember that I was going to do that? Are you asking because you remember at one point I said I was going to do that? I did not film it yet. I've had that on my list. I've had that as a video I wanted to do for like 6 months, and more than 6 months, for a while. I have the notes on it. I just haven't done it yet. Part of it is that I was like, I think I've had second thoughts around, is that even a good video? Like, it's just me, like, dumping on things that are popular, and I don't... Either way, I have not done it. I have the list. Maybe we'll get to it. But I'm also curious if you're asking because you remember me saying that, or just a general curiosity. Love the channel, I watch it all the time. Somebody stands to the call and make a why BoardGameCo is so important to the hobby video. I appreciate it, but I don't think I am. Not in the same way. I think that's the thing about Dice Tower. Like, you might like me more personally, which first of all, if you do, awesome, I appreciate that. But the main thing about the Dice Tower that's fascinating is, I think if BoardGameCo disappeared, I don't think a specific hole in the space is being left the same way the Dice Tower. And I think almost any other content creator, I think any, like maybe Rodney Smith and his how-to-plays, maybe that. Except the difference with Rodney is almost all of his how-to-plays are sponsored. So like, almost all of the important content that Rodney does is paid for by publishers, versus while Dice Tower does sponsored content, the main thing that they do that's important to the hobby is their unsponsored content, if that makes sense. So that's why I think it's like, even though the call is still useful for consumers, I think Rodney Smith would be the only other channel I'd consider to be equally as, oh my gosh, what a gap would be left. And again, even Rodney, there's lots of how-to-plays out there. His are just very, very, very well done. And he doesn't do every single game. The Dice Tower is a comprehensive channel in no other way that I don't think anyone else in the hobby has the same level of, oh my gosh, that would be a hole to fill. I heard it. I heard it. BoardGameCo, we're back, you think? We're back, you think? Marquis the Cat is best hero's character in Root because you can beat Marquis' enemy. Also, it's Wood's strat. I have cutest character in board game. You said a lot of things, and I have a feeling that English is not your first language based on what you said. The problem is I don't know how to answer what you said based on what you said. So, good to see you, but I don't know how to engage. I apologize. Have a good lunch and a beautiful afternoon. I need to go. So do I. I'm a minute late. What's your next 12 by 12 game? Darwin's Journey, most likely. Like, I've already played it 12 times. I just haven't played it. I've played it at 2 players. I've played it at 3. I have not played it at 4. I have not played the Firelands expansion. I have not done solo. So I still need to do other stuff. But I have most of the things. Darwin's Journey, probably. I'm just curious. I think it'd be a good watch. I'm just curious. I said one time. I thought you remembered from what I said. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. I'm going to go upstairs first and see if the other ones of these have vitamin C, because I swear I'm not imagining things. Or, like, I hope I'm not imagining things, because that would not be great. Until next time, I'm Alex Radical from BoardGameCo. I'm going to go walk over there and press the button. And until next time, I hope you have a good one.